High five. Fine.
Hi everyone, I'm Sandrine, this is Americ.
Hello.
Let's talk about The 100 Season 4, Episode 2, Heavy Lies the Crown. I wish we had a crown. Let's start with some quick thoughts. Jasper taking a shower outside with his shower cap.
What did I say about the whole comic relief thing? I'm telling you, this is his new thing. He's gonna be like Mr. Hey, what's up?
Kane and Abby getting it on like you had been talking about from the trailer.
Cabby is happening, people.
Which I'm worried about. In the 100, whenever someone is happy in a relationship, I feel like they're just gonna take one of them away. Something bad is gonna happen.
Yeah, I have to say, as much as I'm expecting it to happen, I'm wondering how far along in the season they're gonna do that, right? So is this gonna just sort of we're gonna be all happy and we're it's fine, nothing's gonna happen, and then suddenly bam, and hit us. Right in the feels.
Let's move on to Polis. Now we met a new character, Jillian, who showed us some of the effects that Ali had outside of Polis and outside of the people that we knew. So it really spread far.
Yeah.
I definitely think we're going to be seeing quite a bit of him, especially since he's holding Sky Crew responsible for the death of his family.
I am glad that they acknowledge that there's a consequence to what happened, right? Ali... and basically taking over so many people, that was a traumatic event, and I'm glad that they're acknowledging it here.
I think then we had an interesting series of events that happened because we had sort of an ambassador challenging Rowan. Then we saw that Echo is, training him, but she's also wanting her own thing, not really believing that what Sky Crew is saying is true. Now we're not really gonna die. And he's like, well, I kind of feel like we are. And then we have Octavia kind of doing a coup of killing the ambassador.
Basically, you have to think about...
It's like a political
Octavia
intrigue.
is really entering that whole assassin thing, full on. And I think she's really just basically who you send to do the dirty work, right? Because everybody was like, oh no, what do we do?
Yeah, because they knew that Rowan wasn't going to win. So, yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if that's what they're going to use her for. Is she going to become an assassin for one of the tribes, or is she just a freelancer, or what's going on,
what are her job prospects, fundamentally?
Jillian actually knows that she's the one who did it because he looks at her, or he has a moment of oh, okay. You did it. Which I think is not really helping him Sky Crew anymore. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, is there anything that could help him Sky Crew,
well,
really?
Maybe, there is, but at this point, it's wow, okay.
But you are feeling Octavia as an assassin.
Oh,
right?
I love it.
You love it. Okay, we're all on the same page, all right?
No,
you guys are feeling it too,
right? I like that. I like the storyline. I think it's really interesting.
Who else is feeling it? Comment below, let us know.
Moving on to the farm station. What was really interesting at the farm station is that we had them asking a question that I think is going to be a big question in the season, which is, do you save these people, or do you see the big picture and save everybody else? Because they need the hydro generator in order to save all of their people. But that's in 6 months, But then they're seeing all these people, they're being slaves. What do we do? So Bellamy is I can't obviously I can't let these people suffer anymore. I think he's trying to a lot of redemption. He does I can't kill any more people kind of thing. I can't let them suffer anymore. And then you have Monty who's well, you have to look at the big picture. What about us? What about all the other people? But then they add this other layer. Once they make that decision, it's well, one of the guys is the guy that killed your dad.
But they added in even another layer saying, because you could have at least said, at least we'll go and we'll come back later, right? They're no, they're going to move them today. Right? So they added that additional layer. So you had to make a decision right here and then. You have two choices here. Both of them have devastating consequences either way. The choice you make really says who you really are. And in this case, Bellamy took it on saying, no, it doesn't matter. We have to save the people who are in front of us here. We can't just think about the bigger picture. And season 3 Bellamy would have actually said the opposite. He would have said, we have to kill the people in front of us now because we're trying to save this bigger group of people then. So he's kind of shifted, right? But I'm curious to know, what would you have done?
Well, okay, that's good. Well, here's the thing. I think I understand why Bellamy decided to save them, because for me, there's this element of time. So it's not right now, you either save these 50 or these other 500, right? You have to make that decision, which I think that was more of Mount Weather, where they were this was happening now.
Yeah.
Like either you save your people or you save the Mount Weather people. So you have this. Here, I feel like you have 6 months and we think we kind of need this, but we could possibly figure out something else. And, you know, to be honest, I don't know if I could just let people in front of me that I am seeing suffering and slaves and just walk away. As much as I'm watching it, I'm like, no, Bellamy, you have to save everybody else. Being faced with the fact and seeing the people in front of you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can just kind of be like, fuck it, let's leave them. Like,
Here's the thing. And I love it because it really made me think about this famous sort of like psychological exercise. It's called the trolley problem, right? So just briefly, it goes like this. So you have one situation. You are in front of a trolley track and there are workers on this trolley track and you see a trolley coming in really, really fast and you're next to the switch. And if you switch it, it's going to miss that track with the workers, but it's going to hit another track with just one worker. What do you do?
So, and just to be clear, there are multiple workers.
There are multiple workers. There's like 5 workers. There's just one worker on the other side. What do you do? The track has to go one way or the other. Yeah. Most people will say, hey, I'm going to switch it, and it's going to hit that one person, right? So you're like, look, you're just doing what you can now. You're just doing...
Yeah, it sucks either way.
It sucks either way. Now, let's change the scenario a little bit, right? So same situations. You got 5 workers on the track and the trolley is coming really, really fast. But the only thing you can do is push this one guy. And it can't be you. It has to be this one guy on this track. And they're going to just save everyone. So it's the same scenario, but this time you have to push someone, right, in that direction. And guess what? Same scenario, but fundamentally, most people wouldn't push that guy because you have to physically do it. And I think, in a way, Bellamy was put in a similar situation because, yeah, he could have just taken the hydro generator, thought of saving the other people, 6 months down the line. But fundamentally, he would have been condemning the people right in front of him to die. And I think he just couldn't go that far. And basically, he's human, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Does this mean this redeems him? Not yet. Not yet. We're close. But we're not quite there.
He's working towards it. One last quick thing. When we were watching the trailer, I think you thought that when Monty is like going mad and like hitting something, it was like when he was betraying Clarke or something.
Yeah.
No, he was not betraying
He was not betraying.
He was killing he was kind of letting the slaves free to go kill his father's killer.
Yeah.
Justice.
You see, trailers, man.
Yeah.
They make you think one thing. They get you. They get you every time.
Moving on to Arcadia. So as we suspected, they're trying to figure out a way to save everyone. And at this point, I think they're trying to figure out, first of all, how to save Sky Crew.
Yeah.
And then they're hoping to try and save even more in Grounders, etc. I do think it's interesting that Jaha turns out was an engineer before becoming chancellor. And also, he's kind of like this counselor a little bit.
Yeah,
to
Clarke now.
And he's kind of telling her, see, it's not that easy because, again, I feel like, when you have someone in power, someone that has to make really important decisions, especially about people's lives, it's easy to criticize and say, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you did that. Hands the title, heavy lies the crown, right? So Jaha is like, hey, it's yours now. But he does give her an interesting piece of advice. That is, we make the decisions that we can with the information that we can and hope that there's a forgiving God, meaning like there's just no right answer. Like you can only do the best you can with what you know at this moment.
So they're setting up the scenario going forward, right? Like, so the big conflict is going to be who's going to get saved? Like, who's going to be part of the group that gets saved?
Well, right now, we don't know how many people they can save because their hydro generator is gone. So Raven is like,
I need to find another solution.
But now they're crowdsourcing things. But what do you think about Clarke's speech at the end where she kind of says, we're all going to survive, which at this
all
point,
in this together. Really is really stepping into her role as a leader, right? Sometimes leaders have to say things that need to be said versus things that are true, right? So she needed to say that in order to encourage them because she knows that if she's like giving them the dire truth, most of them are not going to deal with it very well. They're just not going to be able to coalesce very well.
And also probably not think because then you're stressing out about are we
going to do it? I mean, Rowan is in the same situation if you think about it. He's not telling his people, guys, this ish is going to, go down. Like a lot of it comes down to, what do you think is going to yield the best result, right? What words, what set of actions is going to yield the results that really are going to help you the most? And she just said, well, I gotta say what I gotta say. So I respect her for that. And I actually think that's going to come up later on as a point of conflict when people said, but you said this. I'm like, well, bitch, I said what I gotta say. We'd love to hear what you thought of this episode. What are some of the things that really stood out for you? Are you excited about Octavia in assassin mode? What would you have done if you were Bellamy? Comment below. Let us know.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the 100 reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. Well, I'm confused. What do you want me to do?
Just do
okay,
what you did.
high five. Okay.